Hello, hello. We're going to be looking into Idaho today. We are moving on to group 3 East. This is a culmination of all my other readings, excuse me, broken down into an outline that is available to you in the description and the Dropbox link. This is not a standalone video. It is part of an investigative energy series. This is an energy reading. It is all allegedly my opinion. I do not claim to know everything 100%. This is based off of reading the energy, doing the best that I can, and the intention is to help. So we're starting at group 3 East. And again, this is available in the Dropbox. It's all of my other readings that have been broken down some more. So it recently came out that there is an internal investigation into an officer involved in the Idaho case. I do feel as though this may be a part of that purposeful conflict of interest that I was talking about. Maybe it's not just the lawyer, right? Maybe there's another purposeful conflict involved here. I haven't watched all the videos on it yet. A bunch of you have sent it to me. I haven't watched it all the way yet, but I will do a reading on that once I have a chance to look it over. Okay, so group 3. The killer was focused on one person in particular. Jack was left with no choice. Uh-oh. The second line here. Okay, so these numbers are sticking out to me because this is from video part 44. And the second line, so 2 plus 2, right, equals 4. Twice. Okay, you're about to see how my brain works here. So we have 44, as this is part 44. The second line, so 2 plus 2, twice, how I just said there may be a conflict of interest on the lawyer side and this officer side, so 2 and 2. The second line says there is or will be a distraction. Let's look at that first, and then we'll go back to the first line. Death in reverse. An internal purging. Internal affairs. 3 of Pentacles. The internal affair is looking at someone that's working as part of a team that has some kind of financial element. 6 of Pentacles, giving and receiving, in this case, information. Let me see if I should say that. Hold on. 3 of Swords. Someone flipped on this officer. Someone flipped on this officer to save themselves. Not another officer. Okay, back to line 1. The killer was focused on one person in particular. Page of Cups. If you go all the way back to my first readings on Idaho, Kaylee was the one that was constantly represented by the Page of Cups. That's all I'm going to say. Jack was left with no choice. That's wild because that was like Kaylee's card in the beginning. Wow. Knight of Swords reverse. Someone forced. I said Jack was left with no choice. This is a very forceful, you're going to do what I want, you're going to do it my way energy. That kind of comes out of nowhere. 7 of Pentacles, a long-term investment. So thinking ahead. you're going to do what I want now, not realizing that I'm using you now so that I can protect myself later or get something later. I don't know if it's just simply knowing information and not passing it on, or some kind of instruction. That's referring to Jack. So I want one card for knowing information and not passing it on, and then one for instruction. Six of Wands reversed. Pulling back after something not going your way. Instruction. The Empress reversed. Some kind of information. Well, Six of Wands reversed is like, well, Six of Wands upright is public information. So in reverse, it's private information. So that came out in terms of knowing information and not passing it on. There was something that he knew about the girls that he did not tell them. Yes. But we also have the Empress reverse for some kind of instruction. The Empress reverse is like blocking from something. So I think it's both here. I think not only did he know something and not tell the people who it affected, like if something was known about, hey, people are looking into what you're saying, or you need to be careful or something like that. It's like having that kind of information, but not passing it on to the person because of fear for your own safety or whatever. And then with the Empress reversed, some kind of instruction. The Empress reverse would indicate that that instruction was meant to like block people from getting certain information. So the instruction was, do not tell the girls that you know this. What Madison said was something she was told not to talk about. And this is meaning what she said to Adam. Four of Wands reversed, or Four of Wands upright, sorry. King of Cups. Just go home, don't talk about it. Who's telling her this? The ex. The ex told her, go home, don't talk about this. Which means that it was that night, allegedly my opinion, it was that night that the girls were told, don't talk about this, but couldn't be told why. So like, don't say this, knowing that they were going to be asked about it specifically to see what they would say, but not being able to say, don't say this because they're asking you to trap you. They can't say that part. They can just say, don't talk about this, go home. Brian is connected to somebody that has some kind of power. We just don't see it yet. It's not someone he is paying. This is like an IOU. I'm collecting type of energy that has something to do with an element of protection for Brian, but not in an obvious way. Interesting. Protection for Brian, but not in an obvious way. Eight of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, Knight of Wands reversed. This is a delay. This is also like a very passive type of energy. So like, I know I'm not doing something right, or I know this person's not doing something right in the investigation, but I'm just going to let it go. I'm just going to let it slide. Because of some connected involvement in the same organization. How do I put this? This would be like purposely leaving things out or purposely cutting corners so that later that works to Brian's benefit. And or Like if things are going in the wrong direction, then this would be brought to the forefront so that there was some kind of delay, so that behind the scenes there could be a readjustment. There is some kind of financial transaction that is going to make it look like someone else is involved or poke at reasonable doubt. The Fool reversed, Knight of Cups reversed. Financial transaction. So the Fool being reversed is like, should have known better, but oops. So in this case, the Knight of Cups reversed with the Fool reverse is making me feel like hold on. Three of Wands. There might be something financial that is part of the reason behind this internal investigation. Almost like someone's backed into a corner, they flip on an officer, but they need to have proof of like, there's actually something going on and it's not just me trying to get out of trouble. So I need to give you some proof of that. So I lead you towards some kind of financial transaction that the officer has that would connect them to this organization but I don't know if that's that. I don't know if that is a piece of information that we would actually find out about, or if that's something that would be kept hush hush, because that would make obviously the department look very bad if an officer was getting some kind of hush money. But the double knights both coming out in reverse here is making me think like, oh yeah, I'm part of this organization while also part of this organization, but like this one completely counteracts or contradicts this one. Like I can't be an officer and involved in this organization, so people won't look, you know what I mean? But I do feel as though someone flipped, but like them flipping, it couldn't just be, hey, I don't want to be in trouble, so I'm going to tell you something about this officer. There had to be something to be like, look, you have to look at this, and if you see this, then you know I'm telling the truth. It relates to that financial transaction. It's almost like, look into this officer's financial transactions, and if you see this or you see that or something like that, then look at what pieces of this investigation that the officer was involved in and where the ball could have been dropped, and realize that it was, if that makes sense. Something major that gets the jury or the public to look at something in a different way. There is a big bomb that is going to be dropped. Some kind of unexpected but very valuable information. Temperance. The Moon, secrets being revealed, and the High Priestess reversed. Oh, they chose the link. They chose to protect the link over the officer. It was like, it got to a point where it was like, you can protect one or the other. What I mean by that, how I said that they found out who the link was and used that to trace it backwards to Brian. This is like, it was getting to a point where one person had to be like sacrificed from the organization so that they didn't get close enough to the person that was ultimately being protected. They need a fall guy for certain pieces of the investigation that may seem out of place so that it doesn't lead back to the link and what the link is involved in. It's more of what the link is involved in than the link herself. It's like the money laundering aspect that's needed to be protected. It's weird though, because it's like, with the link, it's like nobody knows that this is, that it's her. Like her family and friends and stuff, they don't know it's her. Like, they would be absolutely shocked to find out her involvement in what she's involved in, because the only people that know that she's involved in it are the people that are inside. Nobody. She doesn't tell friends. She doesn't tell anybody. Like, she doesn't have a best friend that she goes to and it's like, oh, by the way, I do money laundering and help this organization. Like, nobody knows. Nobody knows. It's like a complete need to know. Oh. That's why she's so quick to clean up people who are talking. The Hierophant and the Ace of Wands. Yeah, it's weird because she's really high up in the organization, but nobody knows that she's involved in it unless you're in. It's like a one-way mirror where you can only see out, you can't see in, but she can see both ways. Huh. And the Hierophant here would really be confirming like the element of an organization, right? Brian has some kind of information that if he puts it forth at the exact right time in order for the brain to continue going forward with evaluating this case, this information will essentially be like, are you going to ignore this seed of reasonable doubt and keep going? Or are you going to say there is going to be reasonable doubt no matter what? Oh my goodness. This is his. If there's a problem in internal investigation, that's what would be that lasting reasonable doubt. Like, how can you overlook the reasonable doubt that comes from that? This wasn't done right. That wasn't done right. Huh. Ten of Wands, a heavy burden, and Five of Swords, conflict and disagreement. This is going to be a problem. He believes that once this information comes out, it will be an unquestionable seed of reasonable doubt that you can't wipe away once it's there. Only if played at the right time, though. See, I was thinking the right time was during trial, but I'm wondering if the right time is before trial, before anything even starts to come out. Does Brian have anything to do? Hold on, let me think how I word this. Does any information that came out of Brian's mouth to someone else have anything to do with why this internal affairs investigation was started? I'm gonna pull two cards. Queen of Cups reversed. Two of Cups reversed. No, it's not from Brian, so he has something else still. This is like, this is like backed into a corner and I have to flip on someone, so I'm going to flip on this person, because if not, you're going to get me. And so that can't be Brian because he's already in jail, right? So it can't be like a him or me thing, because it's both. You're already in jail. So it can't be that. This is like, I have no other option other than to give you this piece of information that might be dangerous for me to tell you, but if not, I'm going to jail, and I don't want to go to jail. Which means that Brian has something else. Like, if this isn't his information, that means that he has something else. Which is bad, because now there's also this, right? There will be some kind of off-the-wall defense. Brian was very strategic about something prior to his arrest. What was he very strategic about? 10 of Diamonds. Okay, so this card, first of all, deals with money. Second of all, deals with traveling. Third of all is the atomic bomb card. Queen of Hearts and Five of Hearts. Five of Hearts is reversed. So that would be... What did I say? Some kind of off-the-wall defense. Brian was very strategic about something prior to his... It's the money laundering. Something with money laundering and the link. Okay, so it didn't come from Brian's mouth, but did Brian have someone else go in and turn on the link and connect, give that money? Knight of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles reversed. Knight of Pentacles would be like someone you can trust, someone who's reliable. Nine of Pentacles reversed would be like bringing it down, bringing down the pyramid. But it's also like, no, it wasn't Brian. It's, you know what it is? It's someone who had reliable information, like someone who could prove that what they were saying had some basis of truth to it, but it didn't come from Brian, though. But it's weird because it is like someone gave information about, like, this officer has a connection to this link, right? But it's, once again, they skipped the link and went for the officer. They found something in his apartment that connects him to a surviving roommate. If not a surviving roommate, then maybe one of the victims, but it was left intentionally. So something that connects Brian. Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Swords reversed. This has represented Dylan. This has represented the link. They found something in his apartment that connects him to one of the surviving roommates or victim. That was left intentionally. Before that, we had Brian was very strategic about something before his arrest. And I just said it has something to do with the link and money laundering. Being passive about something. Being passive about something. Someone you can trust. Someone who has information that they can prove. Brian left something purposely. The link, Dylan. Left intentionally. There's some... Oh. This would be like if whatever Brian left intentionally that was meant to connect the link or lead to the link. This would be like if there was some kind of proof that an officer was passive about that information, didn't document it, didn't add it in, kind of maybe hid it. Yeah, it's like if I get to the scene first, I can clean up any loose ends that they may have missed that connect back to her because I'm protecting her or I work for her. Ace of Cups reverse, emptiness, draining of the information. Oh, that's not good because that means that there's stuff that has been deleted or hidden. This may not necessarily be used was the next line. All right, the person who put something into Ethan's drink, allegedly my opinion, has a connection to not only that female, but wouldn't get along that well. So him and the person who did put something in Ethan's drink that I feel happened, it's not like him and that third girl in the group are buddy-buddy. It's like they're like, kind of like when you're in school and you get assigned a group project with someone, you're like, oh, this person, that's kind of the vibe between them. The female was gathering and passing on information that would the would-be acquaintances don't vibe together. Yeah, so it's like the like I said with the school group. Four of Swords reversed, the Lovers reversed, and Page of Pentacles. So yeah, them not really being buddy-buddy, not really getting along. She's the one that is making it happen, giving the instructions or whatever. And then this is about kind of like pushing forward for things to happen. So how I said the female kind of pushed that fight to happen or whatever, so that those other steps could happen in terms of putting something in the drink and whatever was supposed to come from that. The male would be someone who previously had either a very close personal relationship or maybe something like a project or a business that wasn't as close to Ethan within the month or two before the murders. So someone that he used to be better friends with, they weren't that great of friends anymore because something happened. That's the person that was arguing with him, or just the person that could have put something in his drink or given him a drink with something in it. The Chariot and the Sun. Chariot and the Sun. I was thinking at first the Chariot was to get him to leave, but I think what happened was to get him to stay. So I think the Chariot is just referring to the plans moving forward. But the Sun is making me think that Ethan knew he couldn't trust this person. But why? Star reversed. Yeah, this is someone that he wasn't hanging around while he was in public. Like, it wasn't like, it wasn't someone that it was like in his group that he was maybe walking around with or whatever that night. It would be someone who was not in his like immediate hangout friends that night that approached at some point in the night. I lost where I am. Not wanting to get stuck in a loop of continuously having to convince people that knew too much not to talk. So that was that third girl's role. Brian will claim he was at the home a different time for something relating to drugs. Some money was owed or due, or something was not fairly distributed. There was tension or a disagreement because of that. So 7 of Swords reversed, which would be getting caught, and Page of Wands reversed is like, okay, you got me. Yeah, I was there, but I was there for... It's like when you do something really bad and then you try to say, oh, well, I just did like this medium bad thing, hoping that it'll be like, oh, okay, cool. Like, and I won't look at the worst thing because you admitted to this lesser thing, if that makes sense. There is tension because somebody else is getting pressure put on them for somebody else's mistake. I think I know who that is. 5 of Cups, being disappointed. The World reverse and the Tower reverse, trying to avert disaster and not wanting something to come to light. I believe that the officer that's involved in this internal investigation was the one that was getting the pressure put on them to clean up somebody else's mistakes. They're trying to put pressure on someone they think they can break, but it's not someone that is directly involved. They think they know something, but don't realize the weight of what they know. The police are trying to get them to talk about something that's unrelated to this crime so they can put the pieces of the background together. The Emperor and the King of Wands reversed. There's good officers and bad officers, and the good ones are trying to get the bad ones to accidentally tell too much so they can put the other pieces of the puzzle together. There's probably a ton of tension in that office. It's like the energy of like not knowing who you can trust. Allegedly, my opinion. It was not Adam maliciously passing on information. He was trying to set up some kind of meeting or protection through passing on the information. Which, if he was the one that was told to ask that question, and he was told, ask this so that we can help protect the girls, but the plan wasn't really protect the girls, but he didn't know that, that would fit in. Oh, the conversation was expected. If he's the one asking the question, he's expecting an answer. So he was misled. He was misled to feel like he was helping to protect the girls, but in reality, the other person that was telling him that had an ulterior motive. That was not good. 5 of Swords, or 9 of Swords reversed. So this is like, Adam was probably told something such as, the girls are really freaking out. I want to help them by setting up a meeting with this person because this person can help them. But they won't talk to me about it because I'm being pushed out. So can you talk to them about it? See what they say. He reports back because he thinks that he's helping, not realizing that it's not. All right, we're just gonna finish East really quick. It's this top part, and then oh wow, we're almost kind of done. Okay, yeah, we're just gonna finish this part right now. All right, so Papa Rogers is connected to Brian in some way. It's all a ploy at reasonable doubt. 10 of Pentacles reversed and 5 of Wands reversed. Trying to avoid, either trying to avoid conflict or trying to avoid something going in a certain direction. So maybe one of those situations where it's like, oh, if we put out just enough information that seems to go in line with what people are thinking, they'll feed more into that and not look here or there because they'll be so focused on that target information. A female has turned on Brian. Oh, hold on. The police were already looking into Brian, and what was given to them from this person was a huge confirmation. They did need this information. They didn't need this information, but it helped solidify that they were going in the right direction. So they were looking at a couple people, or kind of looking at him, and then they were given information. They were like, okay, this is the right path. Queen of Wands reversed. Six of Cups reversed. King of Swords reversed. I do not know if I should say this. Hermit reversed. I don't know if I should say that. We're gonna keep going. Brian's car or apartment did give some kind of lead or info. Something was purposely left by Brian to connect him to someone else in case he got caught. This is like if you don't delete, this is like if you do delete everything from the entire computer, you wipe it, you get completely erased, on top of erased, so that if they recovered it, they still couldn't see it. Then you went in to delete something, but didn't delete it to that same level. So like you super deleted something and then only kind of deleted something else. So it would look like you were trying to delete it, but you know what I mean? So, oh, it's kind of like how I just said when you do something really bad and then you tell them about something medium bad so they don't look further. That's the same thing. It's like making it look like you were trying to delete something and you didn't know how to do it further so that they don't look further into other things that were deleted further. It was something that was left intentionally. It's something that directly connects him to the victims or something, or some kind of connection, something digital. Three of Cups and King of Pentacles. The Three of Cups was representing the girls being out that night. It might not be something that connects him directly. It might be something that connects the driver or accomplice. But something that can be twisted to use. It's all a ploy at reasonable doubt. So it's like, I don't know. Some kind of ploy at reasonable doubt using a connection between someone that Brian's connected to and someone that that person is connected to. So I'm connected to this person's connected to them. Somehow that benefits me if I give you this certain information. Brent was trying to get out of something and they wouldn't let him. Brent, again, is not Brian. It's a separate person. Everyone always questions when I say this. Brent is a separate person. To figure out who that is, you're gonna have to go back a couple readings. Nine of Cups reversed and Nine of Wands reversed. Trying to get out of something. Nine of Wands reversed is not, I don't want to do it. I'm refusing. I'm not meeting you halfway. No is no. No, thank you. Goodbye. And then the Nine of Cups being reversed is like, I'm not getting what I was offered because I don't want to do what's required of me to get it. So there's something I could attain, but I don't want to because I don't want to do what they want me to do. And then double nines is making me think like the yin yang symbol, how there's good and bad and good, but both are in reverse. So it's like the negative overtook what could have been positive. In this case, it's like I could have gotten this reward, but I would have had to sacrifice doing something I don't agree with in order to get it. So that reward is available, but I'm saying no, that I don't want it because I don't want to agree to do something that I don't want to do to get it. Last year, the beginning of the year, is when Madison began to feel scared or confused due to a female energy. Four of Pentacles reverse. It's like trying too hard. Eight of Wands, communication, Seven of Cups. Last year, the beginning of the year, is when Madison began to feel scared or confused due to a female energy. This is like if you agree to something or you're aware of something and you're okay with it, and then this person starts to be like, oh, what about this or this? What about this? How would you feel about this? Too much, like, which I don't remember what reading it was, but I said something like, how did I put it? I basically said that it's almost like if you give someone a little bit of information and then wait to see if you can trust them with that and what they'll do with it and how they'll feel about it before giving them a little bit more information or letting them into like a bigger part of the secret. That's what this is. And it started in the beginning of last year, and it's pushing it too far. Like, oh, I was okay with this, but what made you think I would be okay with that, right? This is like overload of like, oh, well, you know this and you've been okay with it, so here's this, right? And she's like, no. And it's just like that kind of like when you say something to someone and they're like, wait, what? And then you can't take it back, so you try to fast talk your way out of it and confuse them. That's what I see happening. Kaylee is saying that these things were meant to come out eventually, but not yet, not in this way. As in, oh. Kaylee's saying that it was meant to come out eventually. These girls were baited into saying something. This wasn't Madison just going up and being like, hey, I want to tell you all this stuff randomly at the bar tonight. They were asked a question and she answered the question because she felt safe to. They were baited. It would be the perfect time to bait them because Kaylee was back. Madison felt more comfortable. They were together in the same place, but not right next to each other. She had been drinking, more loose with talking. If I make you feel safe and say, hey, I was talking to so-and-so, we found out a way to get that information into the right hands to help you. And I'm just saying this to gauge what your response is going to be to see if you're going to eventually talk or not. But me, as the middleman, I take this information and pass it back to the person who asked me to ask this because I feel like I'm protecting you, when in reality, her intentions are not to protect you. It's to trap you or to bait you into seeing what you'll actually say. Justice reversed. Dishonesty, deceit. All right, we're gonna wrap this up today. I just want to see that third girl, okay? So not the two surviving roommates, that third girl in that little group. The one that's passing information and all of that. I want her energy. I want her energy when she made whatever mistake it was, because remember how I said I feel like she's trying to make up for something? So I want her energy like when that happened. So she essentially, something went wrong in her role, and in order to make up for that, she had to pass on this information. I want her energy when that event happened. I want her energy, let me write this down. So event, I want her energy okay, so I said that I felt like the Maddie and Kaylee decided to cut this girl out. Like, I'm not getting close to her anymore. I want her energy when she found out that information. So cut out. I want her energy between that cutout period and up until the decision was made to turn this into more of a roughing up. So mid-time. And then I want her energy on the night of the murders and after. Okay. So that kicker off event. Okay. The exile, forsaken soldier, strategy, failure, trauma. Forsaken soldier, the exile. This is representing whatever that kickoff event was that made her have to owe a debt, that made her have to start getting this information. Cut out. I already figured what that means. Oh, when the girls said that they were going to cut her out. When she found out that the girls were pushing her out of the inner circle or whatever, or not giving her the access that she needed to make up for the forsaken soldier. Alone in the world. And this card's a 6. And we also had, remember the double 9s, which is a 6. Okay, so now we're looking into after this and up until the time when it went from roughing up to murder. So from the time she was cut out, from the time this alone in the world card began to be her energy, up until it was decided that these were going to be murders. What was her energy? Oh, wow. There's 2. Janine the maid, guardian of saints. So in between the time she felt like she was getting cut out and when the murders were planned to be murders, she was guardian of the saints. She was guarding the victims. She was watching the victims. Janine the maid, she was doing it on behalf of someone else. Someone else was telling her to keep a very close eye on the victims. And she's standing in a graveyard and she's holding a sword. Humility, disillusionment, champion. The other card is envious gluttony. I don't like you anyway because I want what you have. I'm jealous of you anyway, so me having to pass on this information at your expense, What am I doing? Her energy at the time that it was decided that these would be murders. The Maestro, master of inspiration, understanding, community, ingenuity. This is interesting because I think it was yesterday or the last reading, I said that I felt like that whoever made the call, I feel like this girl that we're talking about is the one that made the call that said these actually need to be murders, or like they're going to talk no matter what. So this is interesting. And the other card is Abraham, justice of pandemonium, justice, truth, and duty. This is the energy when it was decided that these would be murders. So master of inspiration makes me feel like, and this person has the 4 lights that are around them, like orbs. I don't know if this girl said, okay, they need to be murdered, but I feel like she at the very least said, they're not going to not talk. And justice of pandemonium. I think what we have here is pandemonium, so I think that's kind of fitting. And justice in this case, because it's justice for, not justice, but like in the case of her mindset, justice is protecting who she wants to protect. It's getting that protection. So, and duty is on that card too. Truth and duty. So like, I now have this information that I know the girls aren't going to not talk. I know that giving this information to this person is going to cause pandemonium, but I have a duty that I have to do that. After the murders. What is her energy after the murders? Oh. Peaceful among thorns. Huh. Let's just do one more because that is just like I don't want to leave the reading on that. That's kind of a morbid thought. Peaceful among thorns. Let me pull one more. Energy after the murders. That goes with peaceful among thorns. Okay, yeah, no, this is a confirmation. Interesting. Keeper of the whispers, the mad prophet. Curiosity, madness, forbidden knowledge. This is like, I know that I'm protected, so I know how I'm protected because I'm seeing how things work behind the scenes. So I'm okay. I'm not the one who committed the act of murder. I'm not the one who even technically made the call. I just inspired it to be made through passing on information that I had a duty to pass on. So I'm peaceful among all this chaos that's going on. Okay, so that was from after the murders up until yesterday. What's her energy today? This day, what's her energy now? Hades, Lord of Riches. Equanimity. I'm not going to be able to say that. It's not going to come out right now. Equanimity, wisdom, and inevitability. And he's holding an apple, like the forbidden fruit, which goes with forsaken soldier in my mind. Kind of goes hand in hand. Whatever was being made up for to get back in the good graces, she's back in the good graces. She got her spot back and she's protected. Does inevitability have anything to do with her knowledge of this internal affairs investigation that would be happening? Like, did she know that this was going to happen before it was announced that it was happening? Eight of Swords reverse. Yes, she did. And this card deals with freedom and escaping something. Eight of Pentacles. This was already in the works. She knew about, allegedly, my opinion, she knew that there was going to be an internal investigation while it was still in the works before it was announced. How would someone that's not an investigative officer know about that information before it was released unless they had behind the scenes inside knowledge? And we're probably paid to keep quiet. Okay, talk to you soon.